Can you film with an iPhone and start a cooking channel on YouTube? I'm going to start by showing you some cooking show clips where some were recorded with my iPhone 15 and others were recorded with my Fuji X-H2S to see if you can tell the difference.
I'm just going to add a pinch of salt. Now, I did make it for me. Have you ever tried to go out and order guacamole and it's cost you an arm and a leg? Yeah, it's happened to me too. If you take your skillet and take the butter that we have right here, we're going to make a roux.
Could you immediately tell which is which? If you couldn't, that just proves why your phone is good enough to start a cooking channel, and I'm going to show you how to set it up. We're going to start by going to the App Store and downloading the Blackmagic Camera app, because this is what you're going to use to film with your iPhone. Now that you have the app installed, we're going to configure your camera settings. So at the bottom right corner, tap the gear icon, go into Settings. You're going to go to the Record tab on the left. If it's not already selected, choose Record. It's at the very top. And then make sure your settings match mine. The codec should be HEVC H.265. The resolution is 4K. Color space, Rec 709. And you don't have to know what any of these settings mean, because if you don't know what they mean, then that means these settings I just gave you are the right settings for you. Now on the left side, we're going to go to the Media tab. Scroll up a bit, and you're going to see Save Clips to In-App Only. What that means is that the videos that you record in the Blackmagic Camera app will be saved in the Blackmagic Camera app and not in your Photos library. You have the option here, you see, that you can save them in-app and in the photo library. The way I like to do it is when I record with the Blackmagic Camera app, I like to save those files only in the Blackmagic Camera app, so it's easier for me to keep track of everything. When you record, you just tap over here on the Media tab on the right, and this is where all your clips are, or your video clips that you record in the Blackmagic Camera app. That just keeps things simple for me. So you have that option to do in-app only the way I do it, or if you want your videos to also appear in your photo library, you can choose that option. Now we're going to configure the actual camera settings. So we're going to tap the camera at the top right. We're first going to choose our lens. It should be on the 24mm lens by default, or the closest one to it. You may have a different iPhone, but it should be 24mm or 28. That's the lens you want to use. And if it's not, just tap on the top left and you see your different lens options here on the right. I have a 13mm, that's the super wide. I have a 48mm, 77mm. The correct option is the 24mm. That's the lens we want to use. Then we're going to our frames per second, FPS. So tap on that. You want that to be 24 frames per second. The shutter, we want this to be 1/48. And then we tap that lock icon right there at the top. Again, you don't have to know what these settings mean. If you really want to understand what this stuff is, then there are other YouTube channels that teach that. What I'm showing you here are the basic settings that will work for the overwhelming majority of people and allow you to create the quality of video that you're trying to create. These are the settings that I use. So if you've seen my work and you like what you see, these are the settings that I use, and these are the settings that will work for you too. Your lens, your frames per second, and your shutter speed are always going to be the same. 24mm lens, or whichever one you have is closest to that. Your frames per second is always going to be 24, and your shutter speed is always going to be 1/48. The next thing we're going to is ISO, and this is what's going to change based on your lighting. We really want to have the lowest number possible here. I'm going to swipe down to, you want to be at 400 or less, ideally. And the way you're able to control this, so the higher the ISO, the lower the quality of your video. It degrades as you go up. As you increase this number, that means you have less light. And so you're telling the camera to compensate for having less light available. And you do that by increasing the ISO, but there's a cost to that in terms of the quality of the video. So we really want to have our ISO at 400 or less. And this is how you're able to use your iPhone and produce video quality that's indistinguishable from a much more expensive camera. It's really about having sufficient light. And the way you control this is by buying a proper video light, which I'm going to provide a link in the description box to the video light that I recommend. And when you have a proper video light, it allows you to bring your ISO down to a lower number. And the lower the number, the higher the quality of your video. You really want to be at 400 or less. You can probably get away with 800 and still have pretty decent quality, but really we want to be at 400 or less for ISO. And again, this is something that you adjust based on the lighting conditions. So now we go over to white balance, and we're going to set that to auto. We're going to go to tint and set that to auto as well. And now you have all your camera settings dialed in. One more time, the only real thing here that you're going to need to adjust is the ISO, and that's going to be based on the lighting conditions. This is the thing that you change to make the video brighter or darker. So now your video settings are dialed in. The next thing you have to do is add a wireless microphone, and I will provide a link in the description box to whichever mic I'm currently recommending, because mic technology changes all the time. So the mic I recommend will change, and I will update the description box with whichever mic I'm recommending currently. So now you have your camera settings configured correctly and you have your wireless mic plugged in. Now we position your camera correctly. What we're going to do is put your phone at about eye level and then angle it down slightly. You want to have just a little bit of overhead above your, so maybe 3 inches above your head of empty space. And then the rest is going to be the rest of you and the table, the cooking surface, so that people can see what you're doing. By positioning the camera in this way, you're going to be able to make this one camera function as 2 cameras. You're going to be able to get 2 camera angles out of one camera, and I'm going to show you how to do that, how that works later when we get to the editing part. But for right now, just position your camera at eye level, put it on a tripod, position it at eye level, angle it down so that you have just a little bit of space over your head, and the rest is going to be you and your cooking surface. And this is how you're going to be able to make that one camera provide you with 2 camera angles. I mentioned the importance of lighting earlier, but it's worth bringing up again because having a proper video light is the most important thing for allowing you to film with an iPhone and still produce a high quality video. Most people get this wrong. They think it's about having a better camera, when the truth is it's about having better lighting. When you have proper lighting, your iPhone camera is going to be able to produce video that's really indistinguishable from a camera like this. So it's not about having a better camera, it's about having proper lighting. Again, I'll put a link in the description box to the video light that I currently recommend. Now we're going to go into the editing software, and I'm going to show you how to turn one camera into 2 camera angles. I use Final Cut Pro, but this works the same no matter what editing software you use. They're all capable of doing this. We set our camera to record in 4K. Remember that when we went in the Blackmagic camera app, we set it to record in 4K. That was important because what we're going to do is create a 1080p timeline. Whatever video editing software you're using, create a 1080p timeline. That's very important because that's how we're going to be able to turn one camera into 2 camera angles. Another thing that was important to get right was the angle of the camera, positioning the camera correctly. I'm pointing this out because this is a mistake that people very commonly make, trying to fix everything on the computer after it's done. That's just really not a thing. You don't fix it on the computer. You either get it right when you record and then you have everything that you need when you get to the computer, or you're not going to be able to fix it. It's like if you burn a dish, you can't fix it on the plate. You get it right when you cook it. You don't burn something and then try to fix it on the plate. Well, the same applies to video production. You have to get it right when you're recording it. And then when you get to the computer and you do your editing, you have quality ingredients. You have quality pieces that you can put together and create the thing that you wanted to create. You can't burn something and then try to fix it on the plate. So don't try to do that with your videos. Get it right at the time of recording, and then everything is so much easier when you get to the editing part. And in this instance, that meant recording in 4K and positioning the camera correctly. When you position the camera correctly and you recorded in 4K and you mic'd up correctly, you're using a wireless mic, so you have quality audio. When you've done all of these things correctly, the editing is so much easier, whether you're doing it yourself or you're outsourcing it to somebody else. Because if you are paying somebody else to edit your videos, the harder you make that for them to do, the more they're going to charge you. So if you make their job easy, you make their life easy by providing quality ingredients, they're going to make your life easy by not charging you an arm and a leg. So you got to learn how to do this stuff correctly at the time of recording, and don't try to fix stuff on the computer because that's really not a thing. There is no fixing it on the computer. You either get it right when you record or it's going to be messed up. So the first thing I want you to take note of is the headspace above Sharon's head. There's about 3 or 4 inches above her head. Give some breathing room inside the frame. That's what you want. And the camera is positioned at eye level so that I can angle it down and capture the entire cooking surface. And the reason I did that is because it allows you to turn that one camera into 2 camera angles like you just saw. This is one camera, my iPhone. And when you record in 4K and publish on a 1080p timeline, when you create a 1080p timeline in your editing software, this is what 4K allows you to do, because a 4K video is actually twice the size of a 1080p. So you can punch in. Let me show you what this looks like. You can actually punch in and move around. This is the same camera angle, but this is 4K on a 1080p timeline. So I have all of this room to resize and reposition so I can create more than one camera angle and turn one camera into 2. So this method allows you to record with one camera and have 2 camera angles, including a simulated overhead shot. And this is a very effective way to increase the production quality of your cooking show. And also it makes your life easier, because when you have 2 camera angles to cut between, if you make a mistake in the video, or sometimes your spices, pepper or whatever, will flop your nose and you end up sneezing or coughing, when you have 2 camera angles to cut between, you can take those mistakes out and nobody will see. So when you're cutting between this camera and this camera, there could have been 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes of stuff happening in between, and you cut all of that out. There's no way anybody's ever going to know. So that's another benefit of recording 4K and publishing on a 1080p timeline, is not just the production value that you get from being able to simulate 2 camera angles. It also gives you sort of a safety net, so that when things happen, not if, when things happen in the video that you need to cut out, you have a way to do that in a way that nobody's ever going to know. So that's it. Now that you know how to set your iPhone up to record high quality cooking videos, be sure to check out this video so you can learn all the ways that you can make money with your YouTube cooking channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.